In this video, we will create a new project repository in GitHub, clone the project, add files to the project, commit the files using Visual Studio, and push the files to GitHub. First, I've created a SQL Server project in Visual Studio called Performance Analysis. Using these steps, I will be able to move my entire project into the repository and push them to GitHub. That way, I can share them with you. This will also allow me to continually push changes and keep a running history of all of my code changes. Okay, let's get started. We will log into our GitHub account. Click the plus icon in the upper right and select Create New Repository. I generally use the same name as what I want the root folder of my project to be named. Select Public or Private and click the Create Repository button. On the next screen, copy the SSH key. Now we will return to the repository folder on our local computer. Right-click and launch Git Bash here. Type in git clone and then paste that SSH key we previously copied and hit enter. Click enter, ignoring the message because we know we've already created an empty repository. Now I will move my SQL Server Visual Studio project into the new folder that Git Bash created. Notice the folders are named the same. Once everything is there, I will open up Visual Studio. I'm using Visual Studio 2015 Professional with Update 3 and SQL DAC tools installed. Use the Team Explorer window. Click the Changes button. The first time, it may ask you to enter your name and email address. Enter a comment, and click Commit All. Return to the root project folder inside the repository folder and Git Bash here again. Notice the master identifier at the end of the URL. Type in git push -u origin master and hit enter. You will now be able to view your files on GitHub, and your colleagues will be able to download and easily get copies of your code as well. To recap, we created a new repository in GitHub, cloned the project, added files to the project, committed the files using Visual Studio, and pushed the files to GitHub.